Today's guest is Kristina Mohn, a licensed massage therapist with Rise Up Wellness and Recovery, and a CrossFit Level 2 coach who is passionate about helping people heal, move, and live stronger lives. Kristina's work is deeply personal. Her own recovery journey has shaped the way she shows up for others, and she integrates physical health, emotional healing, and her faith. She's also a mom of 3 boys, ages 21, 17, and 13. And when she's not working and serving other people, you'll find her jeeping, camping, hiking with her family, or enjoying concerts and traveling. Kristina, welcome to Delay the Decay.
Hi, Dan. Thank you so much for having me. This is wonderful.
It's such a pleasure to have you. Hey, what's one habit or discipline that you have been fighting for or incorporating into your life recently to help you move upwards and to the right?
So lately, I've actually started doing contrast therapy. It's where you do sauna and cold plunge. And there's a company that opened up actually over by the gym. So they give you an hour and you get to sit in the sauna, go in the cold plunge, and go back and forth. And it's something that, we've all heard of contrast therapy. It's kind of been the latest thing in healing and recovery, I think. And something that I've gone back and forth on, not necessarily knowing if it was something that I 100% believed in, but I thought, this business open, it's a good place it's a good opportunity to try something I've been wanting to try. And I've been having a pretty bad back injury. So I thought, why not? This is a perfect opportunity to add that to my recovery regime. And so I've been doing that for the past 3 weeks, and I actually feel like it is benefiting me. Things with my back have improved. Now, I don't know if it's exactly that or just time, with the rehabbing of my back, but I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed just the process, the system, the way it's all set up. It's just, I almost look forward more to just the environment and doing it versus what I'm getting from it, the benefits.
So are you going from sauna to cold plunge, or like hot tub to cold plunge?
It's a sauna. So it's like it can fit up to about 7 people. So it's a pretty good sized sauna. And they come in and they pour the water on the rocks. It gets up to about 195 degrees. So it gets pretty intense in there. Yeah,
that is intense.
And the same with the cold plunge. You get in there and it's cold. I am not one that really likes to meditate or do yoga. My personality doesn't do well with just sitting. So this has actually been really good for me to learn how to just sit and be still and listen to my body and focus on my breathing. It's been really good. Again, I've only been doing it for a few weeks, but I'm really enjoying it.
That's awesome. I've been wanting to try that when actually I've tried it once, but it was more of a dare. About a month ago, we were in Europe and we were in Budapest, Hungary, and they're known for these thermal baths that come up from the ground, kind of like Glenwood Springs.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and one of next to one of those, they had a cold plunge. So you get into the really hot water, and then you get into the really cold water, and I don't know if it did anything for me other than make me never want to go in 45-degree water again, But they say it really is supposed to be good for inflammation, right?
It's supposed to be really good for inflammation, and also heart health, cardiovascular health. There's some studies showing with anxiety and mental, health disorders. The cold really kind of gives you a shock, so I think it's supposed to kind of help you with energy and energizes you for the day. And then the sauna is all, really good for for inflammation and loosening up all those muscles that are tight from working out and
that's great.
All the hard things we do. So, yeah.
I need to try that. Have you seen the documentary that Chris Hemsworth did? Mm-hmm. What was that called? Do you remember?
It was National Geographic, and I think it was on the Disney app. But yes, I did watch that, and that was really
when he got
cool.
in that cold water, and I think he worked up to I want to say a mile swim.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really cold. I mean, that
Really
water
cold.
was definitely colder than anything I'm getting into.
Yeah, I think there was like ice in that water.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's cool. It's a great documentary. If you all haven't seen it, it's worth seeing. Some of the crazy stuff that he does, and that the body is capable of overcoming the elements. And the thing that struck me is when it started out. Remember this, that and it ended there too, where he was going to walk the plank,
Yeah.
like at one of the highest places in Sydney, Australia, right?
Yep.
And he started off like this far from the ground with those 3D glasses on, and the 3D glasses gave him the illusion that he was a couple hundred feet off the ground when he was 3 inches, and he was losing his balance. And the plank was a foot or more wide. It wasn't like a balance beam, right?
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. I learned a lot. Yeah, it was good.
Me too. Hey, I wanted to ask you right up front. You are a massage therapist.
Yep.
What is the difference between a massage therapist, a masseuse, a massage person, and a PT?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, massage therapists go to school for about 2 years, and we learn anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, basically just all the different aspects of the body and how it works. Whereas a physical therapist, they go to school for, 6+ years. They're getting doctorates in physical therapy. So the schooling is a big difference. And then the other is massage therapists. So we only have the ability to work with you and your muscle and recovery.
Okay.
Whereas a PT, having a doctorate, they have a little bit more license to work with not necessarily prescribe, but if you come in with an injury, they have the ability to test that injury, to test your body, to see,
Gotcha.
Exactly what is going on. Whereas with the massage, it's more just muscle based and doing relaxation techniques to kind of get the muscles to release. Whereas PT is more about rehabbing the muscles to strengthen what is weak. And giving you exercises, and we do that sometimes too. So they actually blend really well together.
They could complement each other.
I refer a lot of my clients to PTs, and vice versa. I get a lot of clients from other PTs, just because they do complement each other so well.
Gotcha. What do you like most about being doing what you do in the massage therapy?
At a very young age, massage was something I wanted to do. I just really, really love helping others. That's always been something that just has given me joy. And being in sports from a young age and being active, I kind of thought, okay, well, I really want to go into the sports realm of things, but with massage, and how do I blend that? So it took me a bit of a journey to get to where I am now, but I just always knew I wanted to help people. And when I started going to massage school, I just knew, like, this is what I'm going to do forever.
And not to put you in a box, but like if you could have the same avatar of client, just one after the other, who would that be? Like what age, what issues, what mindset?
I think the best clients to work with are the ones that want to heal and want to get better. I worked in spas before, and that just was not my jam. I think there's definitely a place for that type of massage therapy, of course.
Sure.
It's nice to go relax and get pampered and taken care of. But for me, I get more of a benefit working with clients that want to heal and want to get better and give me that feedback and tell me, this is working, this is helping, and work with me instead of just expect me to do all the healing.
Yep. I could see that.
Yeah.
So you all should know that Kristina and I know each other through the gym. We go to the same gym. Kristina is one of our coaches, and she's also a power lifter or Olympic
Weightlifter. So it's different. Yeah.
It's different. Okay. And you said earlier, you said you're not the type of person that likes to sit around and meditate and just like looking at your life from my vantage point.
Mm-hmm.
You sure don't.
No.
Like you are on the go, helping people, serving people,
Yeah.
helping people get better. So we're gonna get to that in a few moments about just the way you serve people in the gym, what you like about that, and but we're going to talk about your recovery story
Okay.
a little bit,
Sure.
and because it's really compelling. And I first learned about it, even though we're in the same gym, we haven't really gotten to know each other well. And I saw a post recently that really piqued my interest, and really, I already had a high respect for you, but it like raised the respect. Anytime I see people being vulnerable and honest and public in a sense, with this, with where they've come from
Sure.
and where they are now, it's just inspiring. So, would you take us back a little bit
Sure.
and tell us what life looked like for you before recovery, before rock bottom, if I could say that maybe,
Yeah.
because there's rock bottom before recovery, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. Sometimes I almost forget that I had a life before recovery. It truly feels like I've had two separate lives. Life before recovery and life now. So before I hit my rock bottom and got sober, I had been married twice and had my 3 boys. And life was really confusing. I didn't really have a purpose. I felt really lost. I felt like I was just trying to survive day to day. And not really understanding what my purpose was in life. I had my oldest when I was 24, so I was pretty young when I had him. And, when you have your first kid, everything changes. Your life just gets completely turned upside down. In a good way, right? Like he was a true blessing. All my children are. But that kind of started things for me to go in a downward spiral. I had already been a pretty heavy drinker at that point. I started drinking when I was 14 and lived a pretty aggressive party lifestyle, I would say. But then once I started having kids, that lifestyle typically would go away. But for me, it increased and intensified. And I don't know if that's because I was scared because I was having kids and couldn't even take care of myself at that point. But I was definitely a very, very lost soul. And my faith with God was a very conflicting, confusing time. I would join churches and not really feel comfortable, and then I would leave. And then I would find another church, and then I would leave. And then at one point, I went through a whole phase where I didn't believe in anything. There was no God. There was no, higher being. There was nothing. And that was really depressing because when you don't have faith in anything, and it kind of goes back to that having a purpose, that all just kind of goes away. And you're just kind of left wondering, like, what's the point? So, yeah, it was a lot of confusion, a lot of sadness. And like I said, I had no real purpose. I felt like I was just doing a job, getting a paycheck, trying to survive, keeping my babies alive as much as I could. And
Did you have people with you and for you in these lonely, dark times? Were you kind of alone in that?
Yeah,
darkness?
I mean, so I have a family, and I have 3 wonderful sisters, and my mom and my dad, who we've always been very close as a family. And I think, I don't necessarily feel like they knew exactly how bad it was. But also, our society kind of accepts alcohol
Right.
as a normal,
Yeah.
right? So I think, to be fair, for them, what I was doing was normal.
Yeah.
You know, I was
Yep.
just, and the mommy wine culture was a really big thing when I was having kids. So drinking wine with my kids on the floor was like normal,
Yeah.
you know?
Gotcha. So let me ask you this, Christina. I'm trying to think how to ask this. I have a background, high school, college, early adult, where I drank a lot
Yeah.
and a lot of substance abuse as well. And like I didn't do it. I mean, I, I feel like God was just gracious to me and that I didn't have an addictive personality or whatnot because there's no way that I shouldn't have been addicted or an alcoholic or whatever.
Yeah.
And so how do you make sense of that? Are there some people that because you knew people that drank just as much as you did or maybe more that for whatever reason didn't hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And is it a physiological thing that some of us have or
I actually I do. I think it is an illness, and that is kind of
yeah.
for debate for a lot of people, and I understand that. I really do. But to me, it just doesn't make sense. That, like you're saying, for some people, they can go through that phase of life where they abuse and party, and then they can move on with their life, and they're fine,
Yeah.
and become what's called, considered a normal drinker, right? They can drink on occasion and be without it if they need to, and they're fine. Whereas other people, they can't let go of that. It becomes a part of their life, and it becomes to a point where all you're doing is thinking about it. You're constantly thinking about, when am I going to drink again? How am I going to get alcohol? Where am I going to get alcohol? It becomes obsessive, and that's when I knew this is a problem.
Yeah. And then you had a rock bottom moment. Would you describe that?
Yeah. So this was in 2012. I was married to my second husband at the time, and he was a heavy drinker. Like with me, he would drink with me. And we had gone out. It was a Monday night. I think Monday Night Football was happening that night. We left our children at home, who were all very, very young, all under the age of 10. To go drink at a neighbor's house for Monday Night Football. And I left my phone. I didn't even take my phone with me. And when I think back on that, I'm just like, in what world is that acceptable for a mom to just leave her babies at home, leave her phone at home, have no way for her kids to contact her or any way for her to contact them? Granted, we were just down the street, so it's not like I left town and, was hours away. But that night was just a normal Monday night of drinking, and I came home to my phone, and it had multiple messages from my kids crying, scared, wondering where I was. And that broke me. That was really, really hard. Sorry if I cry. I'm a big crier, so excuse me if I start crying.
It makes the two of us, by the way. So don't get me started.
So that night, that was eye-opening. That was very much like, I need to do something about this. And I'm sorry, I think I said 2012. This was 2014. I was wrong on my years. And so that kind of started the journey of, I need to do something different. This is not working for me. This is not doing me any good service, right? Like, this is bad. And so it took me a while. I mean, that was the moment, and I still remember that night clear as day. That was the moment that it hit me like, you need to make a change. But I didn't know how. I didn't know what that meant. So I didn't get sober until 2016. So it took me about a year and a half to figure it out.
Yeah. And when you kind of felt bottom, when you were at Monday Night Football, your kids were home,
Yeah.
Did you kind of bounce along the bottom for the next year or so until 2016?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it got pretty dark. I ended up leaving my then husband at the time because I couldn't get sober in the environment I was in. It was really difficult because he was still drinking and just couldn't be in a house where there was alcohol because I was going to drink it. And I think there was a lot of denial on his side of, well, you're fine. Just drink on the weekends. And that's what a lot of people would tell me. Anytime I would try to get sober, it was, well, just cut back. And that doesn't work for an alcoholic.
No.
And of course I tried cutting back, but it didn't work. So I left, moved out, and for the next year and a half, I found a church, and that's when I found my church family. They welcomed me with open arms and truly saved my life.
Yeah, and they knew who you were and what your condition was, and they welcomed you.
They did.
That sounds like what a church is supposed to do.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It was wonderful. And I was really ashamed, and not just because of the drinking, but being married twice with 3 kids, was a hard reality to swallow. So I was really ashamed of who I'd become. And it was really hard for me to be honest about that.
Kristina, talk to us a little bit about shame and regret.
Yeah.
How have you been able to kill shame and bury regret?
So the very first church service that I attended at this church, they were talking about the woman at the well. That was the story they were telling. And I was like, that's my story. They're literally telling my story. This woman who was not being welcomed by her community was being shunned because of her past. I just felt like, oh my God, that's me. And the message that the pastor was sharing is, we all have shame. We've all done things in our lives, but God loves us regardless. You are a child of God. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You're wonderful as you are. You are imperfect because that's how God made you. And that's okay. And I think that was really, really big for me to hear, because for so long, growing up, I was very much the fear of God kind of person. If you make mistakes, God's going to punish you.
He's just waiting to hammer you. Yeah.
Because we were in the South when I was young. So we went to, Baptist churches in the South, first, Christian churches in the South. So it was very much like you do bad things, you are a bad person. And so for a long time, that's how I felt. If I did bad things, I was a bad person. And hearing that story and hearing it in the way of, no, God loves you regardless. That allowed me to let go of all of the shame and regret and hurt and pain that I'd held on to for so long.
Yeah. I recently read a quote by a gentleman that was in recovery. He said that when we're stuck in regret, we never fully experience redemption. And
Yes.
it's so true, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's not a one and done. I'm sure that there's you still think about it, and you've got to be reminded that Jesus loves you
100%.
right where you're at, and you're 100% forgiven, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's a journey, and we're never going to be perfect, and we're never going to get it right all the time. And I think that's the point.
Yep.
Is
That's right.
to make mistakes so that you learn the lesson and grow from that, because being complacent is the death of growth, right? You can't just accept the way things are and not understand that there's more to life, and you're going to have to step outside your comfort zone, and you're going to have to step into that church that you don't necessarily know is going to work for you, and you're going to have to meet people that you never thought you'd meet and learn the lessons that God intended for you to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How has your journey shaped you in a way that you can help others? There's a passage in 2 Corinthians that says something like this, that God has rescued us. He's helped us so that we can help others who are stuck in similar ways.
Yeah.
How has your experience before rock bottom, hitting rock bottom, and then experiencing redemption, how has that enabled you to help other people?
Well, I think as someone that has fully transformed themselves through God and faith, and just having the faith that it's going to be okay, right? When you experience that, it's a feeling you can't explain. It truly is. And I want others to feel it so much that I have to be honest. I have to be transparent. I have to be vulnerable. I have to share my story, because there's somebody out there that was like me, that's scared and alone and ashamed. And I want them to hear, like, there are other people out there like you who do make it and are worthy and are loved. And because I had people do that for me, that it's only right that I do it for others. I can't, it would be selfish of me to hold this inside and not want others to experience this.
Well, yeah, thank you for even doing this here today, because this is exactly what you're doing. And we may not all be alcoholics, or we may not all be addicted to some substance, but we're all in process, and we're all stuck in certain places.
Yeah.
And it's important to, I think, to be self-aware enough to be able to look in the mirror and certainly see a child of God and know that you're fully loved and fully accepted because of Jesus, but also to know that that you're not alone.
Yeah.
With in ways that you're stuck, or with the relational conflict you have, or whatever that is,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah. Do you encounter that? I can just picture you talking to people on the massage table, or having a conversation at the gym. Do you encourage people when you find out that they're stuck in some way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think because I am so open about my story, and I do share it on social media, that I do have people talk to me and tell me their story. And, or a lot of the times it's a loved one that they are dealing with. It's not them necessarily, but how do they help their loved one? And so part of it is just listening. Like, you just need to listen to people's stories. Some people just want to talk, right? And I might not have the answers, and I might not have the exact, right thing to say, but I can listen and be compassionate and understanding. And sometimes that's all people need.
How is your relationship with your boys?
So good.
Three boys.
Yeah.
So good.
So good. And it hasn't always been, right? Like, they're boys, and they're, they were hard when they were little. But we are very close. I'm very close to my boys. And they know my story too. I've always been very honest with them, because I think that's important. And it is something that, I've been in therapy, I've been in meetings, I've done the work. So, others have said it's important for kids to know what you're going through, and you don't have to tell them all the details and, all the bad things, but they know that I'm in recovery, and that I was not doing good things for them and myself, and that in order to take care of them, I had to take care of myself first.
Yeah. They got to be super, super proud of their mama, for sure.
Yeah.
Walk us through your physical fitness journey. And when did that start? Have you always been active and athletic, or was this a new thing?
Yeah. So yes, I was always involved in sports from a young age. My busy lifestyle now was always that way. I was always involved in something, whether it was sports or music or dance, gymnastics. I mean, all of it. I did it all. So yes, I was always a very active person and always interested in health and wellness. Like I said, the massage thing was something I always wanted to do. I just wasn't sure what path that looked like or how I was going to do that. So I played sports all through high school. I did intercollegiate volleyball at CSU for about a year. And then once I, kind of merged into adulthood, I was always kind of back and forth. I would do workouts from home. I would go run. I would join gyms. It was very much just your typical, whatever the latest fad was, I would do it.
Okay. P90X.
Exactly. Beachbody, all the Beachbody workouts, Insanity, P90X. Do you remember Tybo?
No.
So Tybo was before P90X, and it was another one of those tapes that you got. I had it in the VHS tape format. So it was I did a lot of just workouts from home, especially with little kids. I was a part of Beachbody. I was a Beachbody coach at one point.
Oh, okay.
And then when I'd always heard about CrossFit, but it was something that intimidated me for some reason. I just kind of thought, oh yeah, that's really not for me. And mostly because I didn't know anybody really that did it. And so I felt intimidated to just go into a gym.
Sure.
So when I got sober, I went through that year and a half of figuring things out, got sober in 2016, and literally 3 weeks later joined a 6-week CrossFit challenge. It was a group of women. We met 3 days a week at a CrossFit gym. We learned how to CrossFit. And because I'm going to have an addictive personality, I immediately that was my new addiction.
Yeah.
Was CrossFit.
There's worse addictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So coming into it, I wasn't super familiar with the barbell. I had done some barbell stuff, from in high school, but I really had to learn everything on how to do everything from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is 2017, 18,
16.
right in there. It is 16.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And so you are off and running, and walk me through, what were other people in the gym saying about Kristina those first 6 weeks? Like, this gal is like an overachiever. She's going to hurt herself because she's lifting way too much weight. What are they saying?
No, actually, I feel like I was more intimidated by the regular CrossFitters, the ones that were going all the time and they just seemed like such big, huge monsters to me. I felt like there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with these people. And after the 6 weeks, so we only would go CrossFit 3 times a week. And so after the 6 weeks, it was, okay, you can join CrossFit, or what do you want to do? And so I immediately jumped in, to going 5 days a week. And the coaches at the time were like, maybe you should ease into it. You don't need to come 5 days. I'm like, no, I really want to do 5 days. And that really was because it felt good. And it was a safe place to go. It felt good. I was learning something new. Because I was still so fresh in my recovery, the obsession to drink was still very, very high. And so having CrossFit to focus on really helped take that obsession, not completely away, but it dimmed it a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things we overlook, I was just talking to a guy at the gym this morning about this, is the mental aspect of CrossFit.
Yeah.
There's certainly physical benefits, but mental, just to be able to cope at times with the trials of life. I mean,
Absolutely.
And it's probably true with any form of exercise, but I feel like CrossFit in particular, because you're there for an hour and you can just turn it off and just focus on what the coach is saying and what's on the whiteboard, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When did you decide that you're going from 5 days a week CrossFitter to level one certification? How long did it take you to from day one to level one?
It took a little over a year.
Okay.
So the gym I was at the time, they were in need of another coach, and they had an opportunity to send somebody to the level one for free.
Okay.
They were helping the gym with equipment, and so in return, they were getting a free pass to the level one, and they chose me to send. So I had already started working with them doing massage because they had a clinic attached to the gym.
Okay.
So I was already doing that. Like I said, I was committed. I was going, 5 days, sometimes 6 days a week. And the level one I took in 2017 and started coaching, I believe it was that summer.
Gotcha. Yeah. And did you love the coaching?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Very scary at first. I'm much more of a one-on-one type of person. I'm really good in a one-on-one setting or a small group setting. And that's why massage brings me so much passion because, I can focus on the one person. So a big class in front of a lot of people, I had a lot of fear and anxiety around that because I'm not one that gets comfortable or confident enough to just stand up in front of people and speak. So it was difficult at first. But I loved seeing people progress. I loved seeing people show up and just be happy that they were there. And just being a part of that experience for them was so fun. Like I love coaching.
So you're working with people on the massage therapy, and then you're coaching CrossFit. You're raising 3 boys. You're helping people. You're investing in people. Do you ever get tired of helping people grow? I know that sounds rhetorical, but
Yeah. That's a really good question. I don't think I do. Now, there are days where I will get home from work and my energy is at a zero, where I've spent all day either touching people or coaching people or talking to people. And so by the time I get home, I'm done, right? Like everything has just been spent for the day. But the next day I'm ready to do it again. So I don't think so.
Are you more naturally an introvert or an extrovert?
Introvert.
Introvert,
Yeah.
which is interesting that you are with people all day. I would guess that you come home more times than not like, I just need to sit in a closet for 20 minutes and just be by myself.
Yes, a lot of times I come home and I'll turn the TV on, but I'm not really listening or paying attention. I'm just kind of zoned out and just I disconnect for at least a couple hours and try to go to bed.
Kristina, what have you learned about discipline? Intentional discipline that maybe a lot of people don't understand. What's the importance of discipline?
So I think what people don't understand, especially when they're trying to set a goal, right? And whatever that goal looks like, it could be health, mental, faith, any relationships, any kind of goal in your life. I think the biggest mistake and misconception people have is that because they've said the goal and they've written down the goal, then the goal is just going to happen. Right? Like I've said the thing, so now it's just going to appear. And discipline really requires you to put in intentional work on a day-to-day basis. And it really is every day. Doesn't mean you have to put in the same amount of time every day, but it requires intentional thought and energy towards that thing that you want on a daily basis, which is consistency, right? So any kind of goal that you set not only requires discipline, but I think the bigger piece to that is consistency. You can be really committed to something for 3 days in a row, and then the next 3 days fall off and you've backtracked. So it's really important to think of discipline in a way of, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing approach, right? It can be 5 minutes tomorrow. It could be an hour the next day. As long as there's some sort of intention and thought and plan and energy towards that thing, you will get there.
Yeah. You're an evangelist for that, aren't you? That is a big part of who Kristina is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We in my coaching, I coach business leaders, and then we have this 40-day fight. And oftentimes I see people come out of the gates, whatever gate that is, the nutrition gate, the physical health gate, the you name it, like they want to make changes, but they come out with too big of changes. And, a week in, 2 weeks in, they go, I can't do this. Well, it's like, I told you couldn't do that.
Right.
Just start with. I think some of your coaching and nutrition, they told me that you told them, like, don't worry about the macros right now.
Yeah.
Just pay attention to the protein you're eating.
Yeah.
And that's something everybody can do, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Small and simple.
Develop a discipline on
Yeah.
that. It's so good. It sounds so simple, but I feel like so many of us, I'll put myself in that category at times as well, where my goals are too big and I'm not willing to put in the daily work to get there.
Yeah. And I think that's something that people have a really hard time, is being honest with themselves. Like you just said, sometimes you'll set yourself up for something that you just know is not achievable, because you're not willing to do the work. And a lot of people have a hard time admitting that. And also knowing themselves well enough to know where their limit is. A lot of times people say, yeah, I can do that. I'll sign up for that challenge or whatever the thing is, not thinking, how does this fit into my already chaotic lifestyle? Am I truly ready for this? Can I put the time in for this?
So good.
Yeah. And it's not right or wrong, right? Like,
no.
If you can't, you can't. And that's okay. And that's just as much, in my opinion, a win, because you're at least being honest with yourself instead of putting in the work for 2 weeks and then quitting.
And they're done. Yeah. I've told this story before, but I have a guy that I was coaching that he used to do CrossFit at another gym, and his life just changed. Like he travels a ton. He just has he runs a nonprofit, just a busy guy. And he couldn't get to the CrossFit gym, and he hadn't really worked out in like a year and a half when we started meeting. And he said, Dan, one of the things I want to do is I want to get fit again. I want to start working out again. I said, well, what do you want to do? He says, well, I feel like I need to be doing like 100 push-ups a day and 50 sit-ups a day and, walk 15,000 steps a day, that type of thing. And I said, does your schedule allow that, permit that? I said, come back to me, like think through your schedule, not the other guy's schedule.
Right.
Or think through your schedule, and then come back and tell me what you can do every day for the next 30 days. And he came back and he said, Dan, he says, I'm an MVP. I said, what do you mean an MVP? He goes, most valuable practice. He says, I'm going to do the most valuable practice I can on a regular daily basis. And I go, that's beautiful.
Great. I love it.
Yeah. But one of the things that Nancy and I have been doing CrossFit at the same gym. This is our 14th year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I need it. It like fuels my personality. Nancy, she didn't have a competitive bone in her body, but she's like the ever-ready bunny. She just shows up every day. But she had to get over the mindset early on that not feeling like a failure because she can't do RX. And one of the things I really love about CrossFit is also one of the stumbling blocks for a lot of people, and that is that I like the RX because it gives you something to shoot for.
Yes.
But not everybody should be shooting for it. And you go and if the rest of it's scaled, it's like, well, what am I? Am I less? Am I not good enough? Yeah. So I know there's people that come in and they leave CrossFit because they don't feel like they're good enough.
Yeah.
And so, have you experienced that at all? Have you thought through that lens?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it is something that we run into as coaches for sure. People that come in and feel like they're not doing the workout because they didn't hit RX. And so we really, as coaches, have to reframe their mindset to, you're getting a good workout for you. That's the point. If you're hitting the stimulus that was meant for this workout, then you are successful in the workout today. Who cares what the weights were, what RX says? If you met the stimulus, I would much prefer to have an athlete that meets the stimulus and scales it versus someone that forces themselves to try to do RX and fails. Yeah. And then they're not getting a good workout. They're pushing their body over the limit. They're going to have a harder time recovering. They're going to have a harder time coming back the next day because now they feel like a failure. Whereas when you scale the workout to meet your stimulus and meet the intention of the workout, you feel successful. You feel like your heart rate got up. You got a good sweat in. You laughed with your friends. And you're going to come back the next day because you feel like it was a great workout. And I would much rather have that athlete over the one that tries too much.
I appreciate that. And I feel like the coaches in general at 970, CrossFit 970, for those of you that are listening in Northern Colorado, it's the best gym up and down the I-25 corridor. Absolutely. And what makes the good gym is the coaches. And I really do, what you just said, I feel that. I feel that from the coaches, that they'd rather see me get depth on my squats. They'd rather see me get extension in my cleans. Than moving too fast and getting hurt and not getting the full stimulus. So you guys are hitting that mark. And I really, really appreciate that.
Good.
Yeah. So CrossFit wasn't enough. Level 1 wasn't enough. Level 2 wasn't enough. And then you find yourself weightlifting, and not just weightlifting, but competitive weightlifting. Yeah. And placing. Yeah. And walk me through that a little bit. Like, talk to me about weightlifting and why is that a passion for you, and why might other people consider that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So obviously with CrossFit, we do Olympic weightlifting in our workouts, right? And other lifting as well. But the Olympic weightlifts just really struck a chord with me. They were difficult. They were challenging. But when you I hate to use the word master, but when you hit one of those lifts just right, to me, that's one of the best feelings in CrossFit, in working out, right? And I just kind of really started falling more and more in love with the Olympic weightlifting side of CrossFit. And so my first gym, was living over in Fort Collins at the time. The gym was in Loveland. And I bought my first house in Windsor. Okay. And so me and my boys moved to Windsor, and it just made more sense for me to be in Windsor. And so the gym I joined in Windsor had Olympic weightlifting, a coach, and he was coaching his son, and they had other people that were competing. And I had no idea about the competitive side of Olympic weightlifting. I was clueless. I had started doing CrossFit competitions, but not weightlifting. And so they were like, just come to a meet. Just watch, come to the back with me, just see if it's something you'd ever want to do. So I went and was like, yeah, I think this would be really fun. Signed up for my first meet and started to train, and really just had a blast training for it. The meet itself was it's just completely different experience than any other competitions I've done because it's just you and the barbell. Nobody else.
And
And it's
silence, right?
quiet.
There's no music.
Nothing.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's very intimidating. But all the work that you do shows up on that stage. And it's a chance for you to really prove to yourself the work you've put in is good enough, right? You may not be the best weightlifter there that day. You might not win first place. You might not be setting records. But if you are doing the best you can do and you're showing up and putting in the work, that's good enough. And that just resonated with me because it's like, this is all on me. I can't blame the programming or the coaching or my teammate or, the environment. Like, this is me. And what reflects on that platform is all the work and blood and sweat and tears that I put in. And I love that. I loved it so much. It was so much fun. So that was in 2019.
Okay.
And so from there, I just started weightlifting. Had various coaches, was weightlifting out of my own garage at one point, and found 970 had a weightlifting club, and Coach Ryan was coaching at the time. And so I joined, and that's how I started at 970. And through that process, I learned with weightlifting, they have a master's, just like CrossFit. So if you're over the age of 35, you can compete, and there's meets specifically for people in the master's divisions. You're weightlifting against people your own age. And I love that. As somebody that played sports growing up and competed as a kid, it was just really nice to see that life didn't end at 18. That there were still things I could do as an adult over 40 and compete and have fun.
Yeah. With people in your own age group.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I went to, I made it all the way to Worlds last year.
Wow.
And placed 6th in my division. And
that's amazing, Kristina.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I
Yeah.
Definitely not something that was on my vision board when I started any of this.
Yeah.
It just kind of snowballed. You keep showing up to meets, and you go to the next one, and you keep training, and you go to the next one. And
is it still a passion, or is it now on to the next thing?
It's still a passion. I kind of felt like after Worlds, maybe that was going to be it. Like I did the thing, and I succeeded and hit what I wanted to. But there's still weights that I want to lift that I haven't lifted yet. And there's still meets that I want to go to that are exciting to me. So until it's not exciting anymore, I'm going to keep doing it.
Okay. And by the way, in our workout today, the strength workout, 3 reps, 5 sets, you were the only woman in the gym that did more weight than me. So thank you very much for making me feel the way that I feel when I saw your name there.
No problem, Dan.
Yeah, you bet.
I'll keep your ego in check from now on.
Thank you very much. You are strong. Yeah. So what does this next season look like for you? You've got 21, 19?
17.
17, 13. So you've got another 5-6 years of work to do as a hands-on parent.
Yeah.
What's life look like after that? What do you envision when you look beyond the raising kids stage?
I see a lot of exploring and traveling. My partner and I both have Jeeps that we love to go on adventures. And so he actually lives in Denver, and we've been long distance for 9 years now, 8 years,
Okay, wow.
long time. So post kids, I see us finally kind of creating a life together and traveling, going on adventures. I do like the idea of settling somewhere that's a little less busy as far as Northern Colorado goes. It's gotten so busy that I'm a small town girl. I'm from a small town in Wyoming.
Okay.
So I miss that. I didn't love it as a kid. Being from a small town when you're in high school is never fun, but I kind of miss the slower pace of life.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how you will do with a slower pace, because you're
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll need access to things to keep me busy, but
you'll be the mayor. You'll own the CrossFit gym. You'll have weightlifting competitions.
well, I've already
And
scoped
then,
out towns that don't have CrossFit gyms and how I could open up a business there. So
okay,
yeah.
I could even see you maybe adopting another couple kids and starting all over again with that. Yeah. So as we kind of wind down here, I want to circle back to something that we talked about earlier, and that is that everybody's in process. Even though we don't have in-depth conversations with everybody, we can walk into a gym, we can walk into a church, we can walk into a grocery store, and we see faces, and we see happy faces many times. But we also know that everybody is in process and dealing with something. For those that are listening that are maybe feeling stuck right now, it could be stuck in drinking too much and too often. It could be stuck in unhealthy relationships or unforgiveness. They're eating too much. They haven't worked out or moved or walked in years. How would you encourage them? I know it's a broad swath that I'm painting, but just generally speaking, somebody that's stuck, what's the next step that they might consider taking?
Honestly, the biggest thing that helped me when I was first starting was just doing the next thing. And sometimes that was getting through the next hour without a drink, or showing up to the gym today because I didn't show up yesterday. So truly just getting up and taking the next step. It's as simple as that. Because I think we've said this before, a lot of times people will think too big of picture and get overwhelmed with all the things they have to do to achieve XYZ, when in reality you just need to make the first step, and that's stepping forward, right? Walking towards that path that you have envisioned for yourself.
So good, so helpful. How important is it, and was it for you, to not just be honest with yourself, because you got to be honest with yourself before you can take the next step, but to be honest with somebody else or with a group of people that can be lifting you up and cheering you on and maybe holding you accountable? Is that it seems like that's a scary step. Is that a necessary step?
Very, yeah. It is very scary. It is, because you don't know what people's reactions are going to be. I definitely went through trials of finding the wrong people, not having a safe space to share what I needed to share. I went through years of that. And once I found my truth and who I really was, that's when the doors started to open and the right people started coming into my life. So I think it takes a lot of work, a lot of really hard work. You do have to start within yourself and really be honest with yourself in what you need and who you are and what this life is that you are wanting to achieve in this life. And those people that are meant to be there on that path to help you will show up.
Yeah, that's so good. And I know I'm okay talking about this because his story is public as well, but I won't say it by name. But there's a guy that comes into our gym that has been, really, really overweight. I mean, like hundreds of pounds overweight, and he had the the stomach surgery so that he could help him lose
Yeah.
weight. And then he's getting his hip replaced, and just in a couple of days. And I'm so proud of him because he doesn't do the class, but he comes in there and he gets coached one-on-one, and he does his own thing, and he's in there 3 or 4 times a week, and he just keeps showing up.
Yeah.
Even when he's not seeing results, he just believes that if he does the right thing, he's lost enough weight where now he can have his hip replaced because his hip is shot. And there's just something satisfying about coming alongside somebody that is stuck and just cheering them on, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's who you are, Kristina.
Thank you.
You are. I'm so glad that we had this conversation because here's the verse. It came to mind. It's the God of all comfort comforts us, so that we might be a comfort to others in every way. And he not only comforts us, but he strengthens us so that we can comfort and strengthen others. And one of the ways that we comfort and strengthen is to come alongside and encourage and help them take that next step, right?
Absolutely. It's so important to meet people where they're at, right? Like they may come to you broken or confused or sad or scared, and that's okay. And it's our job to welcome them and say it's okay. You don't have to be this thing just yet. You're here now. What can we do today?
Yes.
And
that's good.
For people to understand that it really is just a day-to-day battle, you will find success in that. You just have to keep showing up.
Love it. Love it. One of the mantras of this show, and people that have heard me preach when I was a pastor, they would say, when you think of Dan Hardy, what do you think of? And it's this phrase, it's all about direction, not perfection. And it's very much when we get stuck on perfection, like, crap, I blew it again. And therefore I'm gonna fold the tent and go home. It's direction. Get back up. Keep showing up.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Find your people that will help you up, not shame you.
Yes.
That'll help you back up and walk alongside you.
100%.
And so I'm fortunate to know you. I'm fortunate to be able to do this with you. I know it's going to encourage a lot of people. And just keep leaning in, Kristina, to who God has made you to be, and nobody else. And you are going to continue being a world changer and having a great impact on people. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate the encouragement.
Absolutely. And so if my audience wants to follow you or know more about you, whether it be to hire you as a massage therapist or to just find you on social media, how would they do that?
So on Instagram, that was probably the best place to follow me, is Kristina Mohn, LMT.
LMT. Great. And the name of your practice again is?
Rise Up Wellness and Recovery.
And that's in Fort Collins?
Yes.
Great. And you can also find her at CrossFit 970 at the Yards in Loveland.
Absolutely.
So Kristina, thanks again. And for my audience, thank you for joining us. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about direction. Just take that next step in the right direction and do it over again and repeat and repeat. And when you stumble, get back up and do it again. Until next time, have a great week.